Hello, this is Progression Starcraft here. This is my first video on this channel, and the idea behind this channel, hence the name Progression Starcraft, is to help people progress at Starcraft. For the lower leagues, around silver to lower platinum in the gold league level. And this video is going to be focusing on something that's come up quite a bit lately, which is the Protoss versus Protoss. The thing that's happening a lot right now is that everyone just goes 4-gate in this matchup. And the reason for this is because if the other player does not go 4-gate, they have a really hard time dealing with the pressure. And generally, if it's a well done 4-gate, they will win. So it's kind of the inevitable. You must do it. So this is a trick that I've come up with that really helps, and it's very easily done. And all it requires is an early warp gate, and this will help you with a lot of Protoss versus Protoss. Now I'll be coming out with games in the future, different matchups, just tricks that work really well, tips on things to do. But for this game, we're just going to be focusing on a 4-gate versus 4-gate, and this will really help ensure that you have great success in your Protoss versus Protoss. So here we have Unlisted. This is actually me playing. This is a Silver League account, and in the red, and then this is Sleeper, my opponent, who is actually a Platinum player in the blue over here on the right side. So I'm going to speed this up just a little bit to get through this video a bit faster. So basically, I'm throwing down my warp gate, pretty standard stuff, single gas. I'm throwing down my cybernetics core as fast as I can. This way I can get my warp gate out fast, and this is essential because the idea is to have very early warp, to be able to warp units in very early right here at the bottom of your enemy's ramp. So you can see my opponent's Sleeper here is going for early zealots. Doesn't even have his cybernetics core out yet. So I'm just going to scout up in here, and I realize he doesn't have any tech structures, so I'm going to go ahead and tech up. Not even going to worry about getting out that first zealot. Just probe up a little bit, get my second gas. This will help me get out some sentries, which are another central part of this build. Chrono boosting on my warp gate, that's very important. Just scouting around here, have my probe set on patrol. You can see my opponent, he's also grabbing his 2 gas, just now transferring probes. I have both of mine saturated already, this is a very gas intensive build very early on. So I should be chrono boosting this. You can see I'm slacking off a little bit right there. Throwing down my other 2 warp gates. I'm going to throw down one more in just a minute to make this a 4-gate. Now in this, my opponent does actually go 3-gate Blink Stalker. Now, he doesn't, he tries to go Blink Stalker, but the point of what I'm doing is very early aggression, which prevents any tech from getting out, really. You can see he has 3 zealots. I guess if he did push through here, or right now, I might have a problem with this, but I was scouting, so I knew he wasn't going to. I was getting out my first Stalker, warp gate's almost finished, chrono boosting that some more. I have my other gateways, I'll throw another one down up here, I believe. You can see my opponent's also just probing up, almost. You can see production tab, making pylons, making probes, just the usual. I'm throwing out some sentries, which are very essential again to get them early, so you have lots of energy for force fields. So the idea here is to standard warp 4-gate, just move up nice and early, throw down your first pylon, and then as soon as you just want to wait outside your enemy's ramp, and as soon as he moves out, if he does, then you force field right here, and you're basically using this ramp like it's your own ramp at your base, where if an opponent's trying to come up, you force field half their army and then you fight half at a time, but instead you're using their own ramp against them as a choke point. So you'll see me just get up here really early, move my men out, or my army out, and just get really ready for it nice and early. I should move out pretty soon here. You see my warp gate's already done. My opponent doesn't even have his, oh, actually he does have it done, but he's just finishing it up, and he still has units coming out. He's just throwing down his 3rd gateway, but he has a probe advantage, I believe. Yeah, 3 probe advantage, which is fine for this because I'm doing very early pressure. So I'm throwing down my proxy pylon, moving my army out. So he's still in his base, and this is exactly what you want. You want to catch him right here. These still aren't warp gates yet, which is kind of Surprising. Usually you'd make those faster. Still probing up. He throws down his Twilight Council. Now this is where I want to pressure him before he actually gets that tech out, so that I have the advantage. You can see my 4 warp gates are done. Still making some probes. I don't really need to. I'm fully saturated. That's fine. So oops. You can see he was trying to come out, so I force fielded him in just so I could get ready. I'm going to bring this probe down, and I'm actually going to put another pylon right here. Now what this is going to do is this going to make me be able to warp units in right at the bottom of his ramp, forcing him to come down his ramp to deny that, and then I can just force field right here. So he's going to come out. You can see me putting the pylon down, and he's just waiting. He doesn't even have the money to get blink right now. Well, actually he does, but he needs it for units, so you can see him spending it right there. And he threw down a forge to maybe put up some cannons. So you see him coming out right here, and I'm going to force field, draw it back a little so he comes out, and then force field right there, split his army, and now I can just kill off this first half, and now these 4 stalkers are just completely pointless, just doing nothing up at the top. Just keep putting in that force field, and you see my zealots can just wreak havoc on his army. He's trying to do something over here with force field. He's not doing too much though. So I can just pull back. I'm clearly ahead. You can see him trying to warp in more units, more stalkers. Still doesn't even have blink on the way. He's just biting it right now. Really can't do much. Just holding in there. He probably could have thrown down another warp gate, but I decided I might as well just go for it. Force field as stalkers so he can't retreat. And this is basically GG. You can see it. He's just frustrated. He's completely oversaturated. He's totally looking to expand off the 3 gate, and I just move right in. He doesn't even have a chance. So the overall concept here, like I was saying, is to get this really early aggression, so as soon as they push out, which again is really common in Protoss versus Protoss right now, with the warp gate versus 4 gate versus 4 gate. So then you just force field the ramp, completely denying his leaving of the base, and then you just wipe out the first round, let him come out again, do it again, until you can just push right up his ramp. Very successful. So that's it. I'm going to be coming out with more videos with tips, other strategies, just easy strategies for beginners that will help you get up into higher leagues. You can see again, he was just so oversaturated, looking to push out, and the trick is just get really early warp gates and really early sentries, so you can just drop a force field and get this really close proximity pylon just to draw him out, just tempt him a little bit more. This works against a lot of Protoss builds, or a lot of Protoss in general. Even if they go for Immortals, it's really hard for them to get them out before you're up here, and if you have enough Zealots, then it really just counters the Immortals and Sentries too. If they go for Void Ray, you'll have enough Stalkers. You can see I had plenty of Stalkers. And then even if they go 4 gate, this works the best against the 4 gate because they're least expecting it. And as long as you have your army here ready to go, and you make sure you watch their ramp, and right when they come out, you basically have it made. So let me know what you guys think of this build, and I'll see you all next time.